And now we will be taking a look again at the European Parliament election, this time from the Italian perspective. Now, of course, a lot of the Italian politics have been under scrutiny, and for that, we're bringing in a guest.
And joining us to discuss the impact of Italy on these pivotal elections is Nathalie Tocci, Director of the Istituto Affari Internazionali. Hello, madam, and welcome to TVP World.
Very, very great. Lovely to be with you.
So now, how do you feel like when we are looking, of course, now at the situation in Italy, but I would love to focus first on economic, perhaps, issues. What are the primary economic issues driving voter sentiment in Italy for these EP elections?
Well, I mean, it's been essentially the same across the EU. So there's been this, obviously there's been the cost of living crisis, inflation, the initial, recovery coming from, the post-pandemic period. The Next Generation EU funds have not delivered the kind of growth that one imagined in the first months, especially then after Russia's invasion of Ukraine, when the energy crisis hit. So I would say that in general, the economy has not been, in a sense, it has been a main priority, though I don't think it actually has been the main issue in this election. I think, actually the main issue in this election, and this is true, I think, in Italy, as it's true in other countries, it has really been a polarizing debate, for or against the EU. So in this respect, although European elections, as we know, are always national elections, but in this respect, I think actually this campaign in Italy has been more European than previous ones because it has been a campaign about the EU.
All right, like you mentioned, we are seeing a more and more polarizing rhetoric when it comes to the European Union. This almost seems like a battle between the Eurosceptic parties and those who are more pro-European unity. Can you give us a little bit of situation when it comes to Italy? What are the parties that are gaining traction, and what's the overall stance when it comes to the European Union Italian populace when it comes to the European Union?
So, there's been obviously a lot of news concerning Italy and the strength of Giorgia Meloni being a kingmaker in the EU. Having said this, I think it's important to take a step back because, of course, what we're comparing this against is the previous European Parliament elections. Actually, in the previous European Parliament elections, a party that is even further to the right of Giorgia Meloni, Matteo Salvini's League, had basically obtained 36% of the vote. Giorgia Meloni now is polling at about 27%, right? So as far as this broader picture of, is Italy contributing to the surge of the far right, most likely the net effect of Italy on the European Parliament is going to be a net negative for the far right, which I think is an interesting point concerning, as I said, the attention that has surrounded Giorgia Meloni. Basically, the situation in Italy is the same now as it was a year and a half ago when we went to the polls, which is a picture in which the right collectively is at about 44%, the centre and the left are at 56%. The problem is, and this is, and has been a problem not now, but in the past in Poland as well, that traditionally the centre, the liberals and the left have been divided, whereas the right has been united. So this is actually the only reason why the right is in government, because in terms of the overall share of support, there's actually a tilt towards the centre and the left rather than the right compared to the past. But as I said, as a product of the electoral law, we have what we have. Now, it is true that Giorgia Meloni has been essentially stable in support. I mean, she, at the 2022 national elections, she basically received 26% of the vote. She may edge a little bit higher at 27%. This is also largely due to the fact that the parties in her coalition have not been doing particularly well. As you may recall, Silvio Berlusconi's party, Forza Italia, Silvio Berlusconi himself died. So obviously that had an impact on the party. And the League, and particularly Matteo Salvini, has really lost a lot of his flair, frankly speaking. So she's capitalizing on this, but we're not seeing actually that surge basically in the right in Italy, as I said, compared to the last couple of years, and certainly compared to 2019.
So this Super Sunday will end this week and really will be a pivotal moment for Italy, and it will show in which direction the country is going also now in relation to European Union. Thank you so much, Madam, for joining us and providing your insights here on TVP World.
Thank you.